welcome back. First aid for stress. Come back in time to the winter of 2019. Decorations were up and Christmas music played as we finished breakfast. I love Christmas music. It's so cheerful. We need cheerful. But suddenly, slurred words. Alarmed, I looked at my husband. What did you say? Again, slurred words. Smile, raise both hands. Richard did both, but he slurred again. You had a stroke, I'm calling 911. He protested. It's okay, I said, giving the operator our address. When you say stroke, things happen fast. I was soon following the ambulance to the hospital. My mind was racing. Earlier, he mentioned his left leg bothered him when he woke up. It was already about 4 hours. Hours past that first symptom, and we had a 45-minute drive ahead of us. Welcome to Truth Talk Wisdom Walk with C.A. Curtis. I'm Carolyn, and this is part of my story. When my stress level was on steroids. B-FAST. B-E-F-A-S-T stands for balance, eyes, face, arms, speech, and time. But we were not fast enough to stem the damage that unfolded over the next 24 hours. Sterile, clinical, life-altering, the dreaded emergency room scene. Right brain stroke, affected speech, left side paralysis, unable to walk. In ER, Richard said, God's teaching me something. Later, when I asked what, he said, patience. As he lost ground, he remained grateful and blessed those who visited and helped him. After weeks of rehab, I said he needed to be able to dress and transfer himself to a wheelchair before coming home. Sounded reasonable to me. At that time, my past injuries required regular physical therapy and chiropractic care. Once or twice a year, my back went out. I even had to use my mom's walker a couple times. I could barely dress myself or walk for a whole week. Besides, I'm petite, he was about 6 feet tall. As if surprised by my ignorance, the therapist announced, he'll need 24/7 care. Shocked, I protested. That's not in his insurance plan, and he didn't qualify for Medicaid due to my part-time income as a counselor. I scrambled to get strong enough and prepare for long-term caregiving. In those first days of uncertainty, tactical diaphragm breathing did not get me out of hypervigilance. One night I tried counting backwards by sevens. That's a test for dementia. It worked. Shifted my focus. I don't think I could do it right now. Anyway, I meditated on the 23rd Psalm. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. It was a declaration and a comfort. I was not walking alone. Driving to the hospital, Sarah Grove's tender song, You Cannot Lose My Love, took on profound meaning. Sarah wrote it about her love for her child. As he grew, he would lose his baby teeth, innocence, and memories. Richard lost spontaneity, vitality, and ability to stroke. He often nodded off to sleep within minutes of eating or being bathed and dressed. I feared he would forget us, who we were. Life moved in slow motion. Along with the world, we were housebound during COVID and then beyond. But I missed spending time with my family. I missed our deep conversations about faith, history, and world events. I missed him praying for me and our family. Toward the end, when he was barely speaking, I asked him to pray when I had COVID a second time. "Every time you cough, I pray for you," he whispered. Mercy. During the initial crises and beyond, I practiced what I taught clients. Several more strategies were added over the next 3 years and 10 months that we were together before he crossed into eternity. Death is not something we get over. Instead, we carry memories of our loved ones, woven into life's story, a reminder of what is most important in life, each other, you and me. There were no regular evenings or weekends off in our routine. Building my strength and health demanded discipline as never before. So I followed these 10 tips for thriving as best I could. Right? 10 tips. Loving connection, breathing, hydration, nutrition, sleep, movement, sunlight, nature, gratitude. Yeah, let's look at that. 10 tips for thriving. Loving connection, movement, made to move. I was exercising like a maniac. Hydration, breathing, nutrition, sunlight, sleep, truth, nature, and gratitude. Gratitude's where all lives. It's where joy and laughter live. Really, really important. Really important. Anyway, there you go. 10 tips for thriving. I'll address them in more detail in future episodes for mind and body. First, I'll be going through why truth is important, why censorship is a problem, and why wisdom is important, and why love is important. Then I'll get to more of those basics, but I'll throw in a little bit along the way, just as I reach conversations that can be pretty stressful. Anyway. But today is about how to use controlled breathing for managing emotions during a stress crisis. Since birth, we obviously can't live without air. When do you hold your breath? When you're with someone who's hurt you? Someone demanding or angry? Maybe you hold your breath when taxes are due or your bank account is overdrawn. Do you hold your breath? I catch myself holding my breath when I can't get something to work on my computer. And then I make myself breathe. Anyway, what about when time stands still because a loved one is in danger? For some, shallow breathing is a habit, using the top of the lungs instead of the diaphragm. That habit guarantees loss of energy and depression. There's a free remedy. Breathe. Whenever possible, inhale through your nose. Your nose deserves appreciation, so let's give it some. It works to filter, humidify, release nitric oxide, and bring air to the body temperature while reducing the possibility of hyperventilation. And you know how important it is to use your nose when things smell bad. If it doesn't pass the smell test, beware. Your nose is even key in mate selection. Well, that's something to think about. It's also key in sexual arousal. Interesting. That's a lot for one small body part. The least we can do is let our nose work for us. And if it's not working, see a specialist. Here are the easy, fast ways to de-stress with breathing patterns used in the medical field, military, and sports. And I have a little helper here, so let's just get this out and set up here working for us today. So there you go. I did include that be fast because it's balance, eyes, face, arms, speech, and time. That's an important one to know, okay? So there you go. Back to breathing, okay? Basic tactical, it's called tactical or box breathing, is for being alert and grounded. When you practice this in the morning, like 3 to 5 minutes, you need to kind of work up to it. I do these when I'm doing my early morning exercises, which is actually right away when I wake up. I'll practice these, and here's how it goes. So it's a great way to start the day, and you actually can retrain your body to breathe like a baby. So some people actually benefit from crossing their arms and doing a butterfly when they're doing this. That helps, and I've had my clients press a little bit harder on their chest so that they can feel like they're being hugged while they're practicing this. So it's kind of helpful anyway. So first you'll exhale. I'll talk you through it and then we'll practice it. You exhale, then you fill your lungs completely, but you're doing it really fast in a 4 count. So you're filling your lungs, hold to the count of 4, hold. See, this is just 4. Everything is 4. That's why it's known as box breathing, okay? Everything is to the count of 4. Okay, so you inhale to the count of 4, you hold to the count of 4, you exhale out your mouth to the count of 4, and then you hold 4. That's how you do that, just like that, okay? So I repeat, you inhale, hold, exhale, hold. It's nice to count your blessings while you do that and reset your nervous system at the same time. So let's practice. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Got it? Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Notice how you breathe, okay? We're all still breathing here. Notice how your lungs feel after you've practiced that. You're refreshed with life-giving oxygen, imagine that. It feels so good. So there are different breathing patterns that work for helping reduce higher stress or panic. And that was the thing. This actually, when I was in that place with Richard in the hospital and not knowing what was going to happen, I tried this and it actually didn't work for me. I think I probably wasn't inhaling strong enough. I think that's perhaps what was happening. I was inhaling too shallow instead of a really powerful inhale in that count of 4, like that. Then that might have worked better. But I have found that this works to help stop panic attacks a little bit faster. So, but you're going to experiment to find out what works best for you. The main thing is to exhale when you're in this place. Exhale more than you inhale for that several minutes that you're practicing that. I'm not saying to exhale for several minutes. I'm saying you're practicing for several minutes, or you're doing this exercise for several minutes, but the key is that you're exhaling more than you're inhaling, okay? And that's why if you have a panic attack, they have you breathe into a bag at the emergency room. This basically does the same thing. So, okay. So this actually can help when anxiety prevents sleep or awakens you with your heart racing in the middle of the night. So let's see if I can do this without falling asleep right here and now, okay? So we will inhale to the count of 4, hold for 7, exhale to the count of 8. Remember, you're inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. So you repeat this several times. So let's just practice. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold 7. Exhale 8. Hold 4. Okay, stop if you feel lightheaded and resume normal breathing. And yes, yawning is normal when you do this. A lot of times people end up yawning in my office. I don't take it personally. It's just a matter of really getting yourself into a relaxed state. Okay. So another method is to inhale to the count of 4, hold 1, exhale to the count of 7, hold 1, and repeat. So that's just another version of just holding 1 second instead of holding 7 seconds. So, and I think Dr. Amen likes to do that. He just inhales 4 and then holds 1, but exhales 7. So there are different people with different practices, and that's why I say check, notice what your body needs. Notice how you feel doing that. But after doing this, just pause, take a second, and notice how your body feels just after practicing this breathing, this really controlled breathing, and how it just puts you in a really grounded, calm place. The feeling, so I feel really relaxed and peaceful right now. That's just how I feel right now, is relaxed and peaceful. This helps reset your nervous system into the parasympathetic calm mode. Yeah, sympathetic is that all too familiar red alert, fight, flight, hair on fire, reaction to danger, which is really where I was on the way to the hospital. I call it going primal, where we have to just survive at all costs. More on taming primals later. Now, just to remind us all, stress is necessary. Even gravity is a stress. We're designed to move forward through resistance. Occasional anxiety is part of normal life, but when it's persistent and chronic, explore why, then take action to mediate the stress load. Gather your own tips for thriving. You're worth it. For months during COVID, we had no help. Several caregivers learned the ropes, then moved out of state or on to easier jobs. But we settled into a peaceful routine, just the two of us. Quiet days and nights, but the yard was a jungle. So I called for help. I called the local church for help, which I later joined, actually. A masked dentist weeded and spread bark on our driveway. Then a team of 9 masked church ladies that I didn't know were at the door with garden tools. Wow. Another call a year later brought more ladies and high school kids. 21 saints pulled weeds, trimmed bushes, and blessed us. Wow. After COVID, we had 4 to 6 hours of private pay help most weeks. One summer, my grandson came and helped for a month. God bless him. Yet, there were times I was on autopilot, numb with exhaustion. So pacing myself was vital, and I had to let things go, take 2 days a week with no clients, business, yard, or housework, period. only Richard's care. And of course, eating and all that stuff. And then a sweet neighbor, Rebecca, joined us, and she was a godsend, gentle, caring, and competent. And she came one day a week. And the hospice team was priceless. Sometimes a volunteer would come so I could attend church and visit family. Faithful friends helped when I had a family funeral, wedding, or special event. That season, writing poetry became a creative outlet. And this vision for presenting Truth Talk Wisdom Walk formed in my mind. So until we meet again for a story about why truth matters, truth is a solid foundation, so stand on it. Truth matters, and you matter. Love truth, be grateful, and do good. Thank you for joining me on this journey.